Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Rikka deck profile. So Rikkas are one of the archetypes that came out in the recent Secret Slayer set. They're a lot of fun to play. This is a budget deck, everyone. This is a budget deck, with the exception of Teardrop, the Rikka Queen, and Rikka Glamour, but I don't think it's that expensive. Like Teardrop was sitting at about $12 when she came out, and Glamour was at $6 or $5, something like that. But I'm pretty sure they've gone down. I haven't really checked, but I'd heard they have. So that it is budget overall. And it's a plant-based deck, and I'm always so excited every time a new plant deck comes out, because personally, I don't think we have enough, and I can't get enough of plant decks. But without further ado, let's get right on into it. If you're here, you might as well subscribe. Hit that bell so you become a part of the notification team, so you get notifications for deck profiles just like this one. And let's get right on into it. So to start off with, we are playing 3 Primula the Rikka Fairy. So she is really cool. Not only does she have amazing artwork, but she also has an effect if a monster you control is tributed, accepting the damage step, you special summon this card from your hand in defense position. And you will be able to do that a lot because we do a ton of tributing in this deck. She has another effect. You can target 2 plant monsters you control and increase their levels by 2 until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect of Primula the Rikka Fairy once per turn. So she's really cool. She's easy to get out, and she has some level manipulation just to go into our plays, and that's really helpful. So next I'm playing 3 Mudan the Rikka Fairy, which I'm probably not saying that right, but if you're here this long and you subscribe, you're not here for the deck profile. You're here solely just to hear me butcher names. I'm convinced of it. But anyway, what she does is you contribute a plant monster, special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is normal summoned or special summoned by the effect of a plant monster, which it always will be, you can add 1 Rikka spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and you can only use each effect of Mudan the Rikka Fairy once per turn. So she is really good. She's easy to get out in the field, and she searches a spell and trap and adds it to her hand. That's always really good. For the next 3, I'm playing 3 Snowdrop the Rikka Fairy. This is a really great card. But she does have an effect you have to keep in the back of your mind, so we'll get into that. So you contribute 1 plant monster special in both this card and 1 other plant monster from your hand. So that's really great. But she has a little bit of a restriction to where also you can't special summon monsters the rest of this turn except plant monsters. So normally that's not really going to be a big deal, but just keep it in the back of your mind in case you're thinking about going into Avermax or Boral Sword or something like that. You can target 1 plant monster you control. All plant monsters you currently control become that monster's level until the end of this turn. You'll use each effect of Snowdrop the Rikka Fairy once per turn. So like I said, she's easy to get out. She lets you get 2 bodies out into the field, and also she does some level manipulation as well, so that's really helpful. The next 3, I'm playing 3 Rikka Petal. Now, this is a great card. You are definitely going to be looking for this in your opening hand, one of the MVPs of the deck for sure. During your main phase, you can take 1 Rikka monster from your deck, except another copy of this card and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So that's great. Being able to take a card from your deck and either add it to your hand or Foolish Burial it, that's fantastic. But it also has the same restriction as Snowdrop, so you can't special summon monsters the rest of this turn except plant monsters, so do keep that in mind. During your opponent's end phase, while this card is in your graveyard, you control no monsters or all monsters you control or plant monster, you can special summon this card, and you lose each effect of Rikka Petal once per turn. So she has a great searcher effect, and she's easy to get back out into the field, and that's really great. I'm playing 1 Cyclamen, the Rikka Fairy, and I know a lot of people don't like her, playing her, but I like her as a one of. Because what she does is you contribute this card from your hand or face up field and target up to 2 plant monsters you control, reduce their levels by 2 until the end of this turn. During the end phase of this card is in the graveyard because it's attributed and sent there this turn, you can special summon this card, but then banish it when it leaves the field. So she's really cool because she does a lot of level manipulation as well. A lot of them do that if you haven't caught on to that. So that's really helpful, and then she's easy to get back out as well. I'm playing 1 Rikka the Rikka Fairy, because what she does is when an attack is declared involving another plant monster you control, it doesn't just have to be Rikka, and that's really helpful. You contribute this card from your hand or face up on the field. That monster you control gains 1,000 attack and defense to the end of this turn. That's really cool. If a plant monster or monsters you control is tributed while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card in defense position, but then banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Rikka the Rikka Fairy once per turn. So she's really cool just for boosting all our monsters, and then she's easy to get back out as well. And then I'm playing just 1 Hellbore the Rikka Fairy. I really like her a lot because what she does is when your opponent activates a monster effect that targets a monster or monsters you control while you control a Rikka Fairy, Rikka monster quick effect, you contribute this card from your hand or face up field and negate that effect. And I really like that because effects that protect the field while in the hand are some of my favorite effects. I really like that. And honestly, I was thinking about bumping, removing Cyclamen altogether and bumping Hellbore up to 2 just because it gives me a little more peace of mind knowing I have that protection in my hand or on the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can tribute one plant monster, special summon this card in defense position, but then banishment will leave the field. You can only use each effect of Hellboy Rikka Fairy once per turn. So again, she's easy to just bring herself back out as well. For the next 3, I'm playing 3 Lone Fire Blossom because this is a plant deck, and what plant deck is complete without 3 Lone Fire Blossom? Because the 3 Lone Fire Blossom really helps out because it's just basically extra copies of where else the heck we need in the deck. So that's really cool. I'm playing 3 Evil Thorn. Evil Thorn is cool. I ordered a playset of this card, and it's not expensive, but it's not cheap. I don't know where it's at. I think it was like maybe $4 or $5, something like that. Ordered a playset of it, and the day it came in, I found in my bulk 2 more playsets. So I was like, ugh, but it's fine. I got another playset. But it's cool because you can tribute this card and inflict 300 burn damage to your opponent, and then special summon up to 2 Evil Thorns from your deck in the face of attack position, and those monsters' effects cannot be activated. So that's really cool. Just a little bit of burn damage, and then getting 2 level 1 plants back out in the field is really helpful. And then for the last 3 monsters, we're playing just 3 Ash because you knew this was coming, because we are wanting to get out our board. We're not interested in what our opponent has to offer. We're only here for what we have to offer. So we are trying to shut down whatever they're trying to get out. So that's it for the monsters. It's a decent monster count, but it really synergizes really well. So let's move on into the spells. So the spells, we're playing 3 Call by the Grave just because our opponent, talking about what we're offering, our opponent has to offer hand traps, and we ain't about that. We don't want no hand traps. So we're just playing 3 Call by the Grave because that really helps out with that. I'm playing 3 Rikka Glamour, whatever. I don't use this card in my normal everyday, use the name in my normal everyday life, so I have no idea how to say it. But when you activate this card, you can also tribute 1 plant monster. You add 1 Rikka monster from your deck to your hand, and then if you tribute a monster when you activate this effect, add a plant monster with the same original level as that Rikka monster, but with a different name from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Rikka Glamour per turn. And you could bump this one down to 2, but I think it's really helpful. It really helps the consistency, so I like playing it 3, and it's really good. I'm playing 2 Rikka Flurries. Look at that artwork. Like, good lord. Like, the artwork is just beautiful in this deck. What this one does, it's a continuous spell. If a Rikka monster you control is tributed except during the damage step, you can make your opponent tribute 1 monster they control their choice. And that's really cool because that gives by a ton of protection. Like, forcing your opponent to tribute 1 of their monsters is really, really helpful for you. You can only use this effect of Rikka Flurries once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's end phase, if you control a face-up non-plant monster, destroy this card. Most of the time, that's not really going to be a big deal though, as most of the time you will be just having plants, and if you don't, you're going to be having like Avramax or Broadsword, and at that point it's not going to be matter because you're probably going in for an OTK. The next 3, I'm playing 3 Super Solar Nutrient. Now you could bump this one down to 2, but this helps with the consistency. If it's a continuous spell, you activate this card by attributing 1 level 2 or lower plant type monster. That works really well with Evil Thorn. Special summon 1 plant type monster from your hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the level of the tributed monster who had on the field +3. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster leaves the field, destroy this card. So this is really good. I really do like it. Now you could bump it down to 2 and you would be fine with that as well. I'm playing 1 Monster Reborn, just an extender because it's always great. 1 for 1 because I'm trying to see that Rikka Petal as fast as I can, and then 1 Foolish Burial. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps. I'm only playing 3 traps. The 3 traps I'm playing is just 2 Rikka Sheet and then 1 Rikka Tranquility. And now I really like Rikka Sheet, so I really thought about just getting rid of this one altogether and playing 3 of that. But just for the archetype's sake, I wanted to play a Tranquility. This isn't a bad card by any means, because what it does is when you activate this card, you can also tribute 1 plant monster, special summon 1 Rikka monster from your graveyard in defense position. Then if you tribute a monster when you activate this card, special summon 1 plant monster from your graveyard in defense position. You can only activate 1 Rikka Tranquility per turn. That's really good. You get 2 bodies out into the field's great. But Rikka Sheet is like the really crazy one. Because what Rikka Sheet does is you target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Also, you can tribute 1 plant monster. Players cannot activate the face-up monster's effects on the field this turn. Then, if you tributed a monster when you activate this effect, take control of that monster until the end phase, and if you do, it becomes a plant monster until the end phase. You can only activate 1 Rikka Sheet per turn. That's really great because there's no restrictions about what you can do with that monster, and it becomes a plant, so it works fantastic with our plays and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. And basically, because it becomes a plant and we take control of it and there's no restrictions, your opponent's not getting that monster back. We're going to use it for something. And that is a really cool card. You could play this at 3 and you'd be totally fine. But Tranquility is also good for getting some bodies on the board as well. So that's it for the main deck. Let's move on into the extra deck. For the extra deck, we're playing my favorite secret rare out of the entire set, 2 Teardrop, the Rikka Queen. This is such a beautiful card. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful card. What this one does is 2 level 8 monsters. You can detach 1 material from this card, and then target 1 monster on the field and tribute it. This is a quick effect. This card has a plant. Monster is material, which it always will, so it's always going to be a quick effect. You can only use this effect to tear out the Rikka Queen once per turn. Each time a monster or monsters is tributed, this card gains 200 attack for each until the end of this turn. So she can get up to a decent attack. So she has good stats. She can tribute as a quick effect. That's really good. Now you could only play her at 1. There has been a few times where I've been like, man, I didn't really need the second copy. And then there's also been a few times where I've been like, wow, I'm really glad I had the second copy. So for the next 2, we're playing the other one, Kanzashi, the Rikka Queen. Why can I say the harder names easier? That doesn't make any sense to me. Anyways, probably because anime. If a monster or monster is attributed except during the damage step, you can detach 1 material from this card and then target 1 monster in either graveyard, special summon it, but negate its effects. Also, it becomes a plant monster. That's really cool. I really love how the things that we bring from the graveyard or from our opponent's side of the field become plants. That helps really well for what we're trying to do. If a plant monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle card effect, you can tribute 1 plant monster from your hand or field instead. You can only use each effect of Kanzashi, the Rikka Queen, once per turn. So she can bring things from the graveyard, make them plants, and then on top of that, she has protections. That's really cool. I'm playing one, I have no idea how to say this. I'll say the Sylvan High Protector. It's cool. 2 level 8 monsters, has a big defensive body at 3,200. That's huge. On once per turn, you declare 1 card name, escalate the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand, otherwise send it to the graveyard. If this card is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can detach 1 material from this card. Excuse me, if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, not this card, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 card on the field and place that target either on the top or the bottom of the deck. And you can only use this effect of the High Protector once per turn. So that's really cool. Like just being able to place it on top of the bottom of the deck that doesn't destroy, and that's really good. 1 Dengirsu, because you can go in him and he's great. And then 1 Bahamut Shark, because you can go into Totally Awesome using that, and Totally Awesome is totally awesome. Like that was, I mean, that's a no-brainer. 1 Sylvan Princess Sprite, because you won't go into her too much, but the option to have her is good. I'm playing 1 number 38 Hope Harbinger, just for its effect's really good once per turn. During either player's turn when a spell card or effect is activated on the field, you can negate you can negate the effect, and if you do talk much, attach that card to this card as material. So that's really cool. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 material from this card, change that attack target to this card, then perform damage calculation. If a face-up XYZ monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle card effect, you can target 1 face-up XYZ monster you control, and it gains attack equal to 1 of those destroyed monsters' original attack, and that attack gain is permanent, so that's really great as well. I'm playing 1 Avermax just for an alternative boss, because he does help out a lot. 1 Boral Sword just for OTK. 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Aromatherapy Jasmine, first time I ever said that right on the first try, like ever. And then 1 Relinquished Animal, just because absorbing your monsters is always a great thing to do. That's it for the deck, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, this is a budget deck. It is fun to play. I love how it takes our opponent's resources and monsters and makes them into plants, because then they're definitely not getting them back. But yeah, guys, budget. This is probably the most expensive card right now. I don't know what it's sitting at, but it's not any more than 10. I know that. It's not any more than 10. Great artwork, fun to play. Plant, like what? Like, Plant's awesome just because you can play Lone Fire Blossom. As soon as I hear Plant, I'm like, heck yeah, I get to play Lone Fire Blossom. But let me know what you guys think. Out of the 3 that came out of the Secret Slayers, what are your favorite? Personally, mine's Adamantispators, but I really do like the Rikkas as well. It's a whole lot of fun to play. While you're here, you might as well subscribe, hit that bell so you become a part of the notification team. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next video.